Not resetting after I get boots. Because after I get boots, resetting on flippers, I could be here all day if I reset anytime I make a mistake getting flippers. But if I make a mistake going to get the sword, I might just be resetting that today. But as I said, this is a very glitch heavy run. The one you're going to see by far the most is screen warping. Which you do by opening up the map screen with the select button as you're moving from one screen to another. And you'll notice that the room that I'm in will change. We're just going to call everything a room, even if I'm outside. The room will change, but you'll notice Link will stay at the bottom of the screen. If I do it correctly, Link doesn't move at all. So he's going to stay on the screen transition, ready to move into either another room or the next screen warp all over again. And you'll notice in this room, depending on the timing of how you do it, sometimes the sprites on the screen will move with Link as well. So we drug the sword all the way over here to the left. That lets us skip a cutscene. And now we got our sword. Now I'm going to screw up south one more time. We're going to loop off the bottom of the map to the top of the map. And I got to save and quit there, or use soft lock. But by looping the map like that, we get up in the room that has a warp zone. Warp zone! Over by the back door of Dungeon 8. And since that is where we're going to be starting our adventure, it's very handy to have that at the start of the game so quickly. 1, 2, 3 slimes. Defeated. I think those are slimes. I don't know what else they would be. I don't have my manual anymore. But I'm not just counting them for the sake of counting. The next trick we're doing changes depending on how many enemies I defeated, and I need to defeat exactly 3 to be able to do this, which is a trip through the Kennel World, as this very glitchy dungeon is known as, to get to this staircase in Dungeon 1. That staircase only works if you've beaten 3 enemies before going into the glitch. I'll talk a little bit more about how that works on our next trip through. Because I know it happens very quickly. It's just hard to keep up with everything. Rat-a-tat-tat right at the start of the run. Get down in the corner. Slash up. Go away. Boom, 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 boom. I missed a split. What else is new? Now we got our sword. We've got Rock's Feather so we can jump. That immediately gives us a little bit of a speed boost moving around. And we've got Power Bracelet, which is gonna give us access to almost the entire map at this point. All we really need are flippers. The boots help with very few things that you can't get without them. But really all we need now is the flippers, and then we can go anywhere in the world we want to, really. And yes, in case you missed it the first time, I am just stealing items from the shop. I don't have time to get the, 1,100 rupees I need thereabouts. Almost 1,200 rupees I need to buy the bow and the shovel. Plus another 300 rupees to get song number 3 later. That's a lot of money. And don't worry about that jump, we're going to see it a little bit later, where I'll have more time to talk about it, because we're going to do about 8 or 10 of them in a row. But it's called a super jump. It lets you jump with extra height, extra altitude, and extra distance on the 2D plane, if you will. Bum, 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 bum. Boom. Yup. Give me this. I'm going to do a little bit of fishing. This is the first fishing minigame in the Legend of Zelda series. There are quite a few series firsts in this game. There were, of course, musical instruments in earlier games, but none of them were quite so central to the plot until this game. Where the music, the song, in fact, was really ingrained in the lore of the game, if you will. This game also has the first trading sequence in the Legend of Zelda series, where we're going to be skipping most of that. And the first fishing minigame, as I just said. It's definitely not as in-depth as other fishing minigames. There's only so many fish to catch, and really the only big prize there is the one piece of heart I just got. Yep. Now, if you notice what I did there is I walked out of the doghouse, but rather than go through the front door, I kind of slid around the back and squeezed in to the door from behind, which you're definitely not supposed to be able to do. And if you do that, the game just doesn't know where to send you. And since I didn't kill 3 enemies this time, I defeated none, because I had just save and quit. It sends you over here near Dungeon 2. Need to hit. I didn't get it. Oh, I got it enough. Oh, I can't believe that was close enough. Oh, that was so generous of the game. I absolutely did not time that right. Down we go. I've got about, I should count it out at some point. I think 10, maybe 12 screen warps I need to do from here. And they all need to be, I'm gonna call them frame perfect. I haven't timed out to see if they're actually frame perfect or not. And I already missed one. So we get to reset a little bit here. It's gonna skip a couple of doors, but not fast. It's not faster than, just getting it right the first time. It takes a second to get into the right room. But you'll notice sometimes when I screen warp, that if my timing's a little bit off, Link will actually move a little bit before the map screen opens. And it means that the screen warp's gonna work, but if I have to go through a solid wall, like I do here, that's not gonna work for me. I'm gonna be stuck in that wall. And since most of the rooms I'm trying to go through right now don't exist in game data, they're just gonna be those empty rooms that I can't otherwise escape from. Boom, 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 boom. Just not gonna let me do this trick. Come on. Uh-oh. See, Link moved a little bit. Oh, wait. I was barely close enough. The game that was twice the game gave me that little bit of extra leeway. It's usually pretty strict about that. So a little bit of good luck at the start of the run. There's our flippers. We're actually not as far behind as I thought we might be. Given the double reset there. It just means I put a good... It just means I wasted a really good start, though, probably. Now I'm gonna take advantage of that warp zone we unlocked right after picking up the sword. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Turn, Link. I didn't get anything I wanted to there. I was trying to avoid damage. I both got hit and went slower than I wanted to. A little early. That'll work. In the next room, up one room. And that bypasses, what, about 75% of Dungeon 8. Because now we've got the Fire Rod. And we're not going to bother getting the Nightmare Key either. Who's got time for that? And if you're worried about me being at half a heart, don't worry. Because the boss of Dungeon 8 deals 4 hearts of damage if he runs into me. So the health doesn't really matter. Also, we're about to get a heart pickup here. It just means I can hop into the lava and take a reset here. Oops. Oh, I didn't mean to take that particular reset. Stop! Thank you. Super jump! Oh no! I didn't mean to fall in. Oi! Don't fall in! What are you doing falling in? Split! Yeah, I think some of the reason why I'm behind on that first split and then still ahead on the second split, despite the fact it was messy, is I must have done some of my questing in town in a slightly different order. So I'm definitely doing it the right way now. I just didn't do the boss fight all that cleanly. Oh no, you don't. And earlier I said there was a room I'm going to use to show off super jumps, and it's this room right here. So if you're nudged up against the wall that you could jump off the top of, you jump and you slash, and you can slash with the sword, the bow, or the fire rod. The game will act as if you've jumped off the top of the cliff, but since your positioning's a little bit different, it does actually give you get a little bit of extra distance, which means you might be able to get somewhere you're not supposed to be able to anyway, but you also can get the extra altitude from a place you're not supposed to. It's really, really very handy, and it's used quite a bit even in no out-of-bounds runs of this game, because it's just such a handy trick for bypassing obstacles and dungeons and sequence breaking. I almost jumped down there again. Slide to the right. And give me the power bracelet. Give me 50 rupees. You will notice that anytime I open a chest that I save and quit to skip the text box, unless there's money in it. Sometimes I forget, but if there's money in it in the Japanese version, it's faster just to let the text play out because the message is so short. Oh, I forgot how much that blinks. I apologize. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna do 2 more rooms of this with the Mad Batter. So if you're photosensitive, you may want to turn away for about a minute or 2. But this is, there are 3 Mad Batter locations in this game. If you throw powder down the well, you wake up the Mad Batter. He doesn't really like that very much, and he's going to curse you by making you carry twice as much stuff as you could before. So we're actually going to max out our ammo of arrows, bombs, or magic powder, and double our carry capacity for it. Which is nice, because the extra ammo is nice, of course. And it's also part of 100%. Obviously, the rooms aren't meant to be right next to each other like this. They're actually spread out quite a bit on the world map, but if you can go out of bounds, in game data, they are stored right next to each other. So it's very, very handy. For those of you who don't mind playing outside the boundaries a little bit. I could have put my boots. Bonk. Bonk. Nice jump. I noticed me jumping quite a bit here as I screen warp. Screen warping on cracked tiles makes me so nervous because they tend to just break when they want to. The timing can get a little bit goofy when you're screen warping. I'm glad it let me off of that. I need to stop being so lucky with those and just get my screen warps correctly. My goodness. Ow, whoa, 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 whoa. So there's our Dungeon 7 key, which is handy because we're headed to Dungeon 7 next. Ooh, 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 ooh. Up we go. Now it's a little bit faster for me to save and quit in that cave, but if I save and quit in here, there's Luigi, our good friend Luigi, brother of Red Luigi, who in this game takes care of chickens. And if you do the side quest with the Flying Rooster, after Dungeon 7, the Flying Rooster will go back there to be taken care of by Luigi, until the end of the game. I I need to look up the story to make sure I've got all of the deep details correct. But if I remember correctly, this game started out mostly as a side project. The team was looking to port Link to the Past to the Game Boy. But just ended up starting to have fun with developing the project as it was. Because it wasn't a mainline project, it didn't have like a full budget or anything. I think they were just trying to go for a proof of concept and look for approval for the full game. And then a lot of the little fun cameos and things like that ended up sticking as they made a transition from, come on now, the side project of whatever that was actually going to turn out to be to a full-fledged game with a full development cycle. So Link's Awakening kind of sticks out in the series for a number of reasons. It was obviously the first portable title in the series. It does a couple of things a little bit different from the rest of the games in the series as well. Got it. So I can get that Dungeon 1 key I just picked up without having to go throw magic powder on the, I think it's a Tanuki. But if I don't put magic powder on the Tanuki and advance the story to that point, I can't come back and unlock this song with the ocarina. And if I advance the game by one more dungeon, the only way I can unlock the song is by doing the long side quest where you go meet Marin on the beach and take her over to Animal Village and go wake up the walrus, and it's a mess. But you want to make sure that you're only mashing A there. If you mash B, you don't learn the song, you get to do all this over again. And also make sure you don't save and quit too early, because you can save and quit before you actually learn the song, and then you have to do it all over again in that scenario as well. That was a good screen warp. That's probably a better screen warp. Yeah. Oh, come on. Ouch. Oh, come on. Now, if we don't actually open the front door to Dungeon 7, when we leave Dungeon 7, you're stuck in the wall there. If you have the ocarina in Song 2, you can warp out that way, but we don't have that in this situation. You can also screen warp and end up behind the chest, and you can recover from there. But if you're a little bit unlucky, that Kirby will, Kirby will make your day, I'm sorry, it's called an anti-Kirby, will make your day very difficult. I'm pretty sure it's called an anti-Kirby. I should double check that. I think it's called an anti-Kirby. The Banat Switch is gonna get us. Mirror Shield. And you'll notice I'm not gonna bother pulling out the bracelet and dragging this big old metal ball around. We don't get time for all of Dungeon 7's puzzles. We're just gonna screen warp through them all. Unless I drop my screen warp, and then we're gonna screen warp here instead. Leave. Oh, it didn't let me get the cutscene skip. That's okay. As long as the tiles didn't move over. As long as the tiles didn't move over. Good. So screen warping into this room means that we're not technically in side-scroller mode, if that makes any sense. So I can walk on top of the sky, which I'm not supposed to be able to do. That makes this fight a lot easier. There we go. However, if you screen warp into this room, sometimes the fake tile enemies from the room before will scroll over with you, and that will dramatically crash your game. Now that's bad news. Boom, boom, boom. Slide over. Boom, boom, boom. Ow, 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 ow. It's got a long walk here to dungeon. Well, not quite the dungeon 6. We got one more thing to pick up before we head there. I don't know why this, there we go. This tile down here on the bottom of the screen is there, but I'm glad it exists because it makes this section a little bit easier. There's a couple of screens I say that are, I'm like, I don't know why they put a patch of grass here, because the only way it's useful is with screen warping. So I wonder if maybe they were aware that that was in the game. Maybe they used it for some testing purposes. Because it does help you hop around the map and get to places much easier. You can screen warp while swimming, and the timing's exactly the same. The problem is that your movement has changed quite a bit being in the water. Just enough to make it, for me to have a bad time with it sometimes. But not too bad today. And more screen warping on cracked tiles today. Over. Jump. Up. Nope, don't back down. Screen warp up. Jump. Up. Nope, don't need that. Slide over. Up one more. And we'll just walk down from here. So now this chest is in Dungeon 6, this staircase is in Dungeon 6. It leads to Secret Seashell and the Raft minigame. And we can save and quit. Now we are in Dungeon 6. I got a bad screen warp. That's better. The bombs. Boom, boom. Boom. Got our level 2 bracelet. Now you can pick up big, heavy statues like the elephant statue. Not that we're going to. I'm gonna try and screen warp into this revolving door. And get the double movement, let's go! 2 screens of movement with 1 screen warp. That's how it's done. Give me this, give me this. And move quickly. So if you're fast enough, you can drop 3 bombs on this enemy before the fight really starts. Nice, got them all. Got all 3 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, drop. It's very easy to do when you come in through the front door. When you come in from the side like that, you still have plenty of time, but you've got to get the bracelet out early. If you have to pause and equip the bracelet, you're not going to have enough time. There's just a little bit more to it coming in from the side. Very quick fight. If you get the extra damage in early. I think I skipped a split again. Boom, 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 boom. See if I got it. Nope, that's alright. down to get out of bounds. Down to get out of bounds. Down to get out of bounds. Thank you. Now we've moved from, not all the way in the northern part of the map, but pretty far north in the map. Now we're on the very southern part of the map. Thank you. I could put the boots on, but we don't have a ton of room to run here. So we'll just lay it out. Got this seashell. I don't think I explained earlier, at least not in this run. The reason why this is almost a 100% run, despite it being a 100% run, is that once you pick up 20 seashells and trade them in for the level 2 sword, the other 6 seashells in the game will just disappear. And the community had decided that that is enough to count for 100%. The extra 6 seashells, it's really just extra moving and backtracking. It's not really extra meaningful gameplay. It's not like the seashells are all that well hidden, after all, once you know where they are. That was a bit of a slow bomb trigger glitch. If you drop, I think it's 3 bombs in a 2-frame window, it'll make a cutscene play. If there's a cutscene on that screen that's supposed to play, the cutscene will play. And the cutscene on this screen trades away the fishing hook, which I didn't quite have, but it'll trade away the fishing hook I didn't have to get the mermaid's necklace for the Hello America gamers in the audience. Gonna trade a necklace away to the mermaid to get a mermaid scale, and that's gonna actually wrap up the trading sequence part of the game. Thank you for playing. Using a bomb trigger in that room bypasses the first umpteen steps of the trading sequence. We get to jump in right at the end there. That's the only place in this category that I use that glitch. In the more mainstream categories, you use it to completely replace the ocarina. You only pick up the ocarina in a 100% run, because you can use it to open up the windfish egg if you have all 8 instruments. You can use it to wake up the walrus without having to do... I can't remember if you have to get Marin or not, but you can use it to wake up the walrus regardless. I don't think you need to get Marin for that. Otherwise it wouldn't be such a big skip. But you can do a lot with the bombs in other categories that don't otherwise skip content. Wow! I've never gotten this much lag in this room. That was ugly. We're gonna solve a puzzle in this room, and every room in Link's Awakening is capable of having one hidden item tied to a puzzle. So when you complete the puzzle, the hidden item appears. But it doesn't drop a small key, it drops a hidden item. So if I screen warp over, there's still a hidden item on the screen. But the hidden item in this room is this hook shot, which lets you bypass not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 mini boss fights to get that hook shot, and a lot of backtracking to boot. And since I haven't picked up this hidden item yet, I can get my small key, and it's back to the start, and I skipped another split. Of course I have. Boom, 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 boom. I'm a little bit short on cash. You know what? Fine. I'm gonna keep missing the screen warp. We'll just go across ourselves. I'm gonna do another trick here, another new trick. I'm gonna love them called the fire rod glitch. By pausing the game on the same frame that the fireball actually gets drawn on the screen, the game will get stuck on the command to draw a fireball, and it'll draw an infinite number of fireballs, or at least enough until the Game Boy can't handle any more sprites on the screen. If you do that when you're entering, for example, a boss room, the boss simply won't appear. You can actually do that to skip the boss fights like this as well, but you don't get the items if you do that. Where it's really handy in this category, or just in general, is for rooms where you can't advance until you defeat all the enemies on the screen. The door just is locked until you defeat everything. Because if there's no enemies on the screen, then you've defeated all the enemies, as far as the game is concerned. What am I doing wrong with this fight? Come on. Oh, it was behind me. There we go. I'd like to two-cycle this fight again. I keep dropping a sword slash. We're gonna be out of here in not too much time regardless. I got a little bit more room for the game window, huh? Nice, got the jump. I'm gonna hide out in this cave just long enough to set my save and quit point. We're just gonna screen warp past it otherwise. See, now we're on top of the building. That's exactly what this is a building. Thank you. Why didn't I grab the boots again? Like, I don't know where I'm going next. So we have the Mermaid Scale that we're supposed to put in the statue. And if you don't do that first, you can still get to where the Lens of Truth is supposed to be. Ouch! But it won't be there until you turn into Mermaid Scale. And if you pick up the extra Mermaid Scale, you soft lock the trading sequence, you won't be able to get either the Lens of Truth, oops, or the boomerang. Nice! Got them all without too much trouble. There's a mini-boss in this next room. It starts underneath the sand, but its hitbox is still active. So we skip the monologue, and the boss is kaput. Because it's not expecting you to have a fire rod this early in the game. I wonder why. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see, I got 4 dungeons left, and 1 piece of art. Yeah, so we haven't missed anything yet. Nothing feels worse than doing 100% speedrun and finishing with 99% of the items. That's the worst. Alright, this is a very handy cave to be able to screen warp in. We're gonna head left first, so we don't fall into cracked tiles. I'm just gonna head to the left out of this room. Let me grab my hook shot first. Ouch. We're gonna trade away our hook shot that we just got for the boomerang. I don't need the hook shot anymore. I barely really needed it in Dungeon 5, other than the fact that you have to have it for the boss. Otherwise, I wouldn't need it at all. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope that last one counted. I did move a little early. I'm going to assume that it did. 5 and 6. So if you missed the how the Kennel World, how the doghouse glitch works earlier, we are going to see it again here. So I just defeated 6 enemies. So now I'm going to go behind the doghouse here. Slide into the wall and move down into the door from the wrong side. And that is what triggers the wrong warp. Now, where you go on the wrong warp and how the Kennel World, how all of this glitchy mess works, will change depending on the number of enemies you defeat first. I'm skipping a dungeon. I'm about to go to dungeon. I'm skipping 2 whole dungeons. Let's go to dungeon 4 first. Hey, those are real blocks, actually. Thank you. Let's defeat the boss before I split that we had beaten up. Oh, no. Boom, boom. There. I was so busy goofing with splits, I got the quick dive, didn't talk about the quick dive, which I'm not very good at, and I don't really understand, other than sometimes you just get a quick dive into the water. Am I even on the right split? Yes, okay. Womp womp womp. Womp 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 womp. Seems like no matter what I do, I'm gonna be blocking the last time on the splits. I should probably just put it on the top, huh? A little too high up for what I wanted to do. I'm probably gonna bonk on the wall. Yep. But if you have your sword out when the music starts and I'm talking over this awesome song, you can slide around during the cutscene. It saves you a very few pixels of movement. I probably wasted more time menuing for that than I would have saved, than I've saved, but I wanted to show it off. Ooh. There's our second song for the ocarina. And it's a good thing it does what it does, because we're stuck in this water. We're not stuck in the water, we could leave. It's just a very long swim to get out of here. If you use it outside, it's going to warp you to this position every time. If you use it in a dungeon, it warps you to the entrance. Which is really only useful in categories that don't allow save and quit. So the secret sauce there, Tracy's secret stuff, is the bottled fairy of this game. It's going to restore our health if we ever fall down to 0 hearts. There's a shovel. Where's the shovel? Where's the shovel? There we go. Secret seashell. Wrong items out a second ago. Gotta needed the shovel there. Ah! That bat can be kind of mean. This bat is always mean. It's probably gonna tag me on my way back. So we'll try to avoid it. Not like that though. That's not how I wanted to avoid it. And it got me anyway. It got me anyway. Unbelievable. And we're stuck in the wall. That's okay. I can't believe that bat got me. That's what I'm more upset about than missing the screen warp. What a mean bat. Thank you. Thank you. And you can technically get in here without screen warping. As you can see, there is a connection, but it's just faster not to. And only one piece of heart left for another heart, and 3 dungeons left, so that is all of my health, because I know where the last one is. It's actually the first one in the game. I'm at the bottom of the well, and it's going to be the last thing that one of the last things we collect. So we haven't missed anything like that, because again, 99% runs feel bad. Alright, let's see how well I jump today. Right into the hole. I'm gonna save and quit here, because there's lots of ways to get stuck in this cave in a fashion that I don't want to use save and quit for. I'd want to just reset my console. This is the soft lock cave. Come on. There we go. Another secret seashell. Hop in the hole. We're gonna end up back out of bounds. Excuse me. We're in a very familiar room here. We're actually back in the Dungeon 7 boss room. Fall down here. Screw up one more time. You're gonna see. I'm gonna do I'm gonna make sure when I go down here, I'm on the second tile, because you can see in the top left corner, it's a cracked tile. Also, if you're photosensitive, please look away for about 30 seconds. I'm gonna give everybody a second to turn it away. And 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, a little bit, a couple more lines of text I could have mashed through. My fault. But you see those cracked tiles on the top left? I won't talk over the song. I'll wait. So that cracked tile in the top left corner of the screen, you can enter from there and the cutscene will play. If you're very unlucky, the game will the tile will break and you'll keep falling into a hole while the cutscene plays. You'll lose health every time you fall in. By the time Wart from Super Mario Bros. 2 is done singing, you'll be out of health. He'll take your 300 rupees. You'll die before the game actually adds a song to your inventory. You have no money, no song, no 100%, and really no easy way to make those rupees back to try any kind of a reset on that. Like, that just feels bad. There's really no easy way to recover that whatsoever. Here's the boss room. What, do you think we're gonna actually do Dungeon 3? I don't got time to do any of these dungeons. I'm dashing it to split the eyeballs apart. Hey, 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 there you go. Thank you. I was kind of hoping they'd gather up, but no such luck today. Aye, it's not boots or the fire rod. We go split something in that little section. I don't really know what, but we go split something in that little section. Bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. Oh, nope, we're not watching this. So needs the fire rod glitch here to despawn the owl. No, thank you. Don't have time for a long cutscene. Thank you. And I'd put my boots on, but I'm gonna have to take them off here in just a second anyway. I'm gonna have to menu again anyway, rather. And I wanted the feather out. To me? Ah, didn't give it to me. Okay. Hello. I really hope that's 20 seashells, or we skipped one, but no, we got all 20. We got all 20 of the 26 seashells. And now the other 6 seashells no longer exist, so that's definitely getting all 100% of them. For the record, I agree with the decision. I make it sound like I don't agree with it, but it is kind of a funny turn of phrase. It's not quite 100% run. It's more like most of the stuff percent. Which is by far my favorite speedrun category name of all time. I don't think I'd ever have the patience to learn how to speedrun Super Mario RPG. But if I did, that's a category I would learn, for sure. Okay, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot I gotta fight some enemies here. 1. But now I've got Fire Rod. 2. You just gotta make sure the sprite disappears. Oh, there's nothing there. 2. Hello? 3. 4. 5. And 6. Boom, boom, boom. So we're gonna head to the right. We're gonna keep heading right until I see a staircase. Might be the second staircase. Nope, first staircase, because the hidden staircase there doesn't show up yet. Here we go. And now we're in Dungeon 2. And we're probably going to go out of bounds again. Now I can't use the feather to kind of buffer that screen warp. First try regardless. And now you can see I really am in Dungeon 2, but I'm like swimming on the land and I'm walking through walls. And life's just a little bit strange, and that screen warp doesn't always happen, but it's kind of fun when it does, because I can't really explain it. That's kind of a weird one. And the boss is made out of wart sprites, and there's a lot going on right now. If you want me to explain anything of what's going on here, I can't. I only found this because I was like, huh, I wonder what happens if I screen warp in a 2D, in a platforming section of the game. And this happened. I found this completely by accident. Nice. So now my heart piece is going to be up there, and you can see there are invisible walls somehow blocking my path. So I've got to get over there somehow. We're just gonna fidget our way around till we figure out a way to get over there, because I can't tell you where I don't understand anything that's going on. Even the instruments, getting instruments a little bit difficult. There's a huge disconnect between what's on the screen and what the game thinks is on the screen, and I'd love to know what the heck is going on there. I just don't know how. I wouldn't even know what tools to use to try to figure out what's going on there, but I'd love to figure that out, because it's so strange. Like, you can do a lot of unintended glitchy things in this game, but that's pretty far out there, even for this game. Because a lot of the other things, like the Kenner World, a lot of it is just, it's loading in glitchy sprite data. That's what it contributes to a lot of it. Obviously the moving world there is a little bit more complicated, but there, it's not even loading in, like, the tiles are fine. The dungeon tiles are correct. It knows what it's supposed to load in. The rooms load in the proper order, in the proper spaces, but none of the hitboxes work right. I have no idea what the game's trying to do. So now we're in Dungeon 1. Finally doing Dungeon 1, right? You can screen warp through that wall, but I missed it, and I wasn't feeling like resetting that forever in a day. 1, 2, I got it. All right, nice. So we're gonna combine two. Well, no, we're just gonna do the one trick here. One trick at a time. There's the fire rod reset. I used to have to combine 2 tricks in a row there, but I can't remember the reasoning for that off the top of my head. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Thank you. I've never had that much trouble with this boss. Good grief. I'm gonna grab my ocarina again. Because I'm gonna warp as soon as we grab this instrument. Remember, we grabbed Rock's Feather. That was the first item we got way back at the start of the run. Yep, we're missing 1 heart. We're missing exactly 1 piece of heart. I know where it is. We're about to go pick that up. I have to pick up the Dungeon 6 key, and then that's it for 100%. That's 100% of the items. Those are the 2 items we're missing. And I know it seems like we're really close to town, but I have to skip an owl to get there, and I have to get a screen warp through a wall. And if I drop either one of those, it's not going to be faster than just warping to here and running back to town. Especially since I actually need to be on the top part of town anyway. Actually, I went 1 more screen than I wanted to, but we can go from here too. Not that big a deal. A little bit easier from here anyway. I don't have to worry about a wall. So if I miss it, I can just walk through the path. And we're now in the last dungeon of the game. This is, despite all appearances, the Windfish Egg. There's lots of stuff to do here. We're gonna scream up to the left. I missed it. There we go. Yep. So there's our last piece of heart. This is technically the bottom of the well. I would show it off, but it'll break my save and quit location. There's all my health for the run. Save and quit. And we don't get the Dungeon 6 key, and that's here too. Did you know that was in the Windfish egg? Because I sure didn't. That's not where I remember getting it as a kid. You go one more screen. Because I'm one more screen. Fire rod. Yeah, so now we're in the Armor Shrine. The only real danger here is exactly one time I've had this key spawn out of bounds where I couldn't get it and I had to fight the boss twice. No such bad luck today. One more trip out of bounds. There we go. And the music stopped playing because I technically... Oh, you're not even gonna get over here. That's fine. So by dropping all of those bombs when I entered the screen, I skipped the opening monologue. I also skipped all the music changing over. But because of that, the boss didn't position itself properly, and I couldn't do a glitch for the first phase that I wanted to do. It's a little bit of a slower first phase. We've seen this in, I think, every Zelda game. Maybe not exactly all of them, but enough for them to know what's going on. I'll have a magic orb thrown at me that I must reflect back with my sword. The first two are free. And from here on forward, it's a, I wish you could see the air quotes I'm doing, the big heavy air quotes around 50% chance that it'll be magic I can't reflect. So that's one. Two. All right. Hey, exactly 50% today. Let's go. Now, let's see if I can position this right. Nice! Got the stun lock. Sit your butt right there. Go ahead, phase change. We've got level 2 swords, so all these bosses are gonna go down very quickly. Goodbye to you. This boss only ever has one hit point. Goodbye to you. Now, that just leaves the last phase, the Deathel phase. So most gamers probably took this on by using the bow. If you hit the boss in the eye 16 times with arrows, you win. If you run out of arrows, you can use bombs. If you could time your bombs right with the eye opening, it'll take 16 bombs. It'll also take exactly one hit from the boomerang, as long as you work with the boomerang's kind of funny hitbox here. And time's gonna be when the screen fades to white. There we go. 53:24. The only thing aside from the I want to practice the final boss, because I've always been kind of hit or miss on that final boss rush. That Dungeon 5 boss, I gotta get that back down to 2 cycles. There's no excuse for that being a 3-cycle fight. I think I'm not pushing into the boss enough there. I need to take a step forward or hold the D-pad while I'm slashing. I think that's what I'm forgetting to do there. It's something very simple, because getting that as a 2-cycle fight it's easy. It's so easy, it's not in the guide. I'm forgetting something very simple there. And that'll be a nice little time save there. If I didn't skip half of my splits, I'd know better how well I did there. And I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put live split where I'm not going to be covering it up. What I may need to do is, I don't know what I'm going to do. could make it a tall boy again and put it over here, but I'm still gonna be covering it up. The important thing is you can see the timer on the bottom, and you can see generally how well the run is going. What I may do is just put the last split on top. I may put the last split on top. Also, what I probably could do, that I'm just being silly about, I can do this. Hold on. I'm probably just overthinking this. Give me my splits. Because nobody really cares about the current comparison anyway, other than me. Put this down here. There we go. Now I'm not covering up the last split. I'll just have some extra space down here. I may also need to find a different seating arrangement than standing on top of my table in chibi mode, because this is not an issue if I were using if I were in 3D mode. I wouldn't be covering it up like this. I just thought of an idea, but I'd have to workshop it on my next off day. But what I might do, no, that's just not gonna work. I thought about maybe moving the table higher and putting everything like it's underneath the table, but that's just not gonna work. That's gonna be such a mess for any other layout, actually. I gotta do something with this layout. Well, I mean, it doesn't look bad like this. The stuff I'm covering up isn't super important. I just don't know what I'd do, the charity information if I got rid of the table. I could put it on top, because I have other widgets for that. Like... as soon as I figure out where it is. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, all the bars are going to look funny here because they all kind of update together. It's not meant to be two sets on the screen at the same time. But it would